it's murder. 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 Focus. 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 Focus.
Man, I'm hyped this morning, man. I'm hyped this morning. So I saw this clip earlier, and I'm gonna share it with you guys in a minute. First of all, good morning. Welcome to the Dirty Post Daycare. I appreciate y'all being here. Man, look. So it's early in the morning, man. Morning motivation. Don't let anybody else's opinion of their life affect your life to the point that you can't follow your passion. I wrote a book called Murder Music. Did a soundtrack for it done by DJ Sluggo, the legendary DJ Sluggo. And the book was about a, a person that gets hypnotized into doing deletions without actually having any memory of it. So it'd be like a song will come on that'll trigger them, and then they'll just delete somebody, and then they'll walk away and don't even know they did it. Uh, it was a book basically about the ultimate MK Ultra mind control. I heard something this morning, man. I'm gonna share what I heard first, and then I'll get into the other portions of that made me think of such things. But and ironically enough, this had nothing to do with mind control. This had everything to do with LeBron James for some reason. Um, but there was an excerpt in there that really took me to a place. What I need some background. Maybe not. Maybe music garbage. That's streaming out for you. Anyway, let's check this out.
So-called black people are dealing with a series of psychological barriers. One of those barriers being that our people like to talk about things that they don't really know how to handle once they're brought to fruition. Meaning what? So-called black people love to talk about owning businesses and supporting black and yada, yada, yada. But when they see a so-called black man aspiring to own or owning, so-called black people will oftentimes denigrate that person and purposefully not support that person because they do not want that person not only to rise up above his current condition, but they don't want to feel like they have not lived up to their own expectations about their life. So-called
All right, all right. So the juxtaposition is this. I thought about this for a minute, and people love to push things off on crab in the barrel mentality, um, which has its basis. It can be true, but basically, what it is, and this can go into the crab in the barrel mentality. It is a it is somebody wanting to feel like they are in the best position, and anything above that, if they know you, right? if they believe they know you, if they believe that you have some type of familiar or cultural connection to them, that you can't exceed what they do. I call it success by osmosis, right? Like people will believe that you can or cannot do things just because they can or cannot do things. Normally cannot. And that's a relatively new phenomenon, relatively new. It's a culture shift. And that culture shift kind of started with the boomers, but because of the way that people interpret behavior, it becomes part of the culture. So instead of striving for best, right? Like for instance, man, I know everything about banking, right? I know everything about banking. When I was like, yo, I want to get a bank, people like, you can't do that. You're a black guy. You got to go and get degrees. And I'm like, yo, everybody that work at the bank got a GED. Every goddamn girl at that bank got a GED. All the people that give you your loans, they came into the business to do sales. You know what I'm saying? They got trained as they went. I've been a mortgage broker. I didn't know anything about mortgages. I just knew how to count, which is why most mortgage brokers are men, by the way. I just knew how to count, and they said, "Man, can you figure out math?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know math." They said, "Well, welcome to the mortgage industry." And they send you to seminars to get your certification, whatever the case may be. So I'm like, "Yo, I know everything about banking." People like, "Yo, you can't be that because you're a black guy." I'm like, "That's crazy. That's crazy." Matter of fact, there are less black-owned banks in 2023. Last check, it was 12. I think 12 black banks, not 12 branches of one black bank, like every grocery store, but 12 black banks, period, in the entire United States, all 50 states. Because, and then all of those are going down because they don't know how to bank because they got all those degrees from all those liberals and they can't count, right? But they got a bank. So you never hear um, the Freeman's Bank giving out mortgage loans. It's a savings and loans, but they don't give out loans. They don't do trust. They don't even get the services you get at a credit union at black owned banks because they don't know what the fuck they doing. But they got degrees and everybody like, oh my God, he look good in a suit. People that are capable and qualified, if they look like you, people don't normally rock with them, right? Um, that is once again relatively new. Let me show you guys something real quick. This is about the MK Ultra program that came out in the 1950s. And that's where the paradigm shift was. We went from a country where immigrants and former slaves pushed for greatness. This country was probably the quickest built country in the history of the world. In less than 150 years, America was an industrialized country. That has never happened in history. 150 years, that is what, four generations, five generations? 150 years is so short that this is how quick things work. Man, like and sub as y'all come in, man. I know it's an early morning stream, bro. I know it's early morning, bro. Y'all gonna have to catch the replay. I ain't gonna be here that long. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's such a short period of time that Andrew Jackson, our what 12th president? I don't know what number Andrew was. He on the $20 bill though. Andrew Jackson was born the same year that America was created in 1776, and he died the same year the Civil War started. That's how short of a turnaround this was from the land of slaves to freeing the slaves in Andrew Jackson's lifetime. And he was a proponent of slavery like a motherfucker. But in that one small life, that's how quick things change. You went literally one morning, you were a slave. The next morning, you were free with voting rights and the ability to run for Senate. That quick. As a matter of fact, most southern states had black senators and mayors and one had a black governor, and that stopped, and it didn't happen again for another 70 years. America was a place where people wanted to push the boundaries and progress. Then MK Ultra happened. Let me show you guys this.
program was a mind control program, a brainwashing program. The CIA was trying to learn how to control people's behavior without their knowledge. The people would be through drugs and hypnotism. The objective was to get people to go and commit an act of murder against their moral code and have no memory of their programming.
They did a lot of crazy shit back then. Are you aware of Operation Midnight Climax?
Those were the safe houses in San
Yeah.
Francisco.
Well, that
yeah.
was the brothel version
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Where they lured these Johns into these brothels and then dosed them up with LSD and studied them.
Yeah, George Hunter White was the head CIA guy, and he would sit behind a two-way or one-way mirror and watch the Johns would be dosed with LSD. They tried aerosols or just drinks, different things, and then they would study their behaviors. MK Ultra was
All right, so when I was a younger man, volume too low. On that, yeah, I can see that. I bought some new headphones, bro. The old headphones, y'all said y'all couldn't hear me, but I could hear perfectly. Now I bought some new headphones. These loud as shit. Like when I got the volume up, you see, I took one of them out, bro. When I take this volume up, this, hey, these Wang, I got some JBCs because I like I want quality. JBC be banging, but since I can't adjust, it's just crazy. Anyway, so on the clip, I can't do nothing about that. But so check this out. So MK Ultra, they used to put sprays in aerosol cans. They used to put it in LSD. They used to sprinkle it on your weed and your dope, and then they would have music to entice boomers to party and do drugs. You know what I'm saying? So all the partying and drug doing, they reduced MS-13, reduced the thinking capacity of the boomer generation almost to a toddler state, right? That's why, bro, when I tell you guys, and I know you've seen it since I've said it, when I tell you that boomer men and Gen X women act exactly alike because they both toddlers, neither one of them could think, that's where it started at, right? So we went from a nation that wanted to push the envelope forward to a culture that wants to hold each other back, right? The father and mother want to hold the son back unless he's profitable, and then the mother will send him to the world to earn that money and give it all to her because matriarchy is slavery, right? But if you're not an earner, you can chill at the crib all day. That's what girls argue about now. Like, man, the boys can stay forever and the girls got to go out. Because think about this. Think about being 12 years old. A 12-year-old boy is more man than the 40-year-old black woman aspires to be because they don't want to be women. They want to be men. So you being 12 years old, you're more man than your mother can be. So she has to hold you back because she doesn't want you to be a man. She doesn't understand the concept because she been trying to be a man for fucking 40 years. You came 12 years and you already better at it. So they got to hold you back. You know what I'm saying? Whether they do it politely and just let you stay in your room and smoke weed and play PlayStation, or whether they do it aggressively and try to call the police on you or get you kicked out of what, they got to hold you back. They have to be your trauma. That's what all black love is, trauma bonds. There is no genuine love being duty. Love is duty for men and for women, but blacks don't have women. So they have to attach you to the trauma instead of attaching you to the duty. They gotta hold you back. And they gotta do more and more dumb shit. What up, Bread? Yo, Bread, that clip you had earlier was crazy. They had to keep giving you goofy shit in order to keep you destabilized, in order for you not to excel. Right. And that trauma bond is bred by Stockholm syndrome. So I want to show y'all this clip. I can't even slow walk it because for some reason, every time I try to slow walk it, it pauses. But I want y'all to check this out, man. I thought this was very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? And when y'all see this, y'all will understand the whole trauma bond thing. The whole trauma bond thing is about people mistreating you and you loving them for it, which is why y'all love black women, actually. Yeah. Let's get to it. Let me stop right there real quick. Stockholm syndrome is when you feel attached to the person that does you wrong or feel sympathy for them, right? That is that is you at 12 years old feeling bad that your mama ain't learned how to suck the right dick and shut the fuck up. So now you feel obligated to buy your mama a house because your mama ain't shit. But you can't conceive that your mama ain't shit because that's your mama. But you struggling with your mama. You got a struggle bond with your mama because your mama ain't shit. And now you have even more love for her and you want to move it around, right? Check this out. I'm gonna repeat that. I'm gonna let them repeat that. That way I ain't go back far enough. Here we go. Goddamn, man. Oh, no wonder. This is a short video. I gotta go back further. Let me pause that right quick. Pause that right quick. Stockholm syndrome is a coping mechanism to block the pain. And it happens a lot of ways. I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna go back to this. Ain't that long of a video. But in 2000, in 2020, in 2019, right before the pandemic, right? My dad did some goofy shit. Some goofy shit. Like some traitorous Fredo Corleone against the family type shit. And he just thought it was cool. I was like, nigga, what? And I was so heated. Like if my dad was a nigga on the street, I would have touched him, bro. I would have took him all the way from aisle 5 to aisle 7, nigga. But he my dad, and I'm like, bro. So I had to go start going to counseling, right? Because I was like, yo, I'm trying to figure this shit out. But prior to that, okay, three things. Three things. It's a three-step process. Three-step process. Number one, there's a great book by L. Ron Hubbard. It's called The Book of Ethics, in which what it says is when things go wrong in your life, you can't start where it went wrong, right? Like you have to go back past where it went wrong to the last place that things were right. And then you start from your place of understanding and then you make corrections on the things that went wrong so you can flow through it, right? So I'm gonna address that in a minute, Baka. So that's number one. You have to go back to the past. Number two, I was well aware that I had blocked out 10 years of my life. I was well aware that I blocked out like 1986 to 1997. I've been aware of that for a long time. And 97 is when the first trauma happened that kind of snapped me out the blackout. Because that's the first time he did some bullshit. And I was like, bro, and I gave my pass, like, bro, don't do that shit. Then he increased it in 2020. So the second thing was like, yo, I had a decade of blackout. Like when I got on social media, bro, when I got on Facebook, and they tell you you might know these people and they send you all the people from high school. I don't remember high school. None of it. People coming like, man, fam, what's good, dog? I ain't seen you in a minute. Niggas like, bro, you remember you used to rap, nigga? You did the performance at school. I don't remember that shit. Like, nigga, you did the worm, nigga. You did the worm on stage. They're like, nigga, we got it on VHS tape. When I find the VHS, I'm gonna show it to you. Other niggas who I ain't even know was like, man, bro, you was my nigga, dog. You came to my crib for Thanksgiving dinner, man. My mom love you, man. She told me to tell your uncle how. Bro, I don't remember none of these people. I have totally blocked out 10 years of my life. And I didn't want to remember because I'm like, yo, if I remember, I'm gonna end up earthing somebody, bro. So anyway, which brings us to point three, which goes back to point one, that you gotta know where it starts in order to know how to handle it, right? So I go to counseling about the 10 years and I'm like, yo, that was 10 years of me blocking my dad out because he was doing so much dumb shit that the only way I could love him is by ignoring the bullshit that he was doing. That had I not though, so that created the trauma bond. That created the trauma bond with me and my dad, right? Because he was a trauma. But he was not a bad person. He's just not good at being a human being. Because he a boomer. You know what I'm saying? He not good at being a human being. But do a lot of foul shit that I ignored. Because I'm like, yo, but that's my pops. Because it's never like one big whoosh. It's a bunch of microaggressions all the time. A bunch of little silly shit all the time. But it's Chinese water torture. Like eventually it'll add up and destroy your family, destroy your relationships, destroy everything. And I started thinking, because it's not just my dad. It was a lot of, I grew up when we grew up before night. If you were born before 1986, it's a good chance that you came from a two-parent home, right? It's not definite, but if you were born before 86, before a single mama shit just exploded, when it was still you would marry a single mother because you thought she was in distress and maybe she had one kid by another nigga before bitches had 7 kids with 12 different niggas. So I had a chance to look at all my friends and their parents, right? And it was the same situation. Some nigga married a single mama, but he also had kids in the street. Nobody's oldest sibling had the same last name as the rest of the siblings. It was like 3 or 4 people in my little neighborhood who all the kids was by the same couple. But everybody was married. And everybody had kids, but the first kid had a different name. And I'm observing, like I've been observing these people my whole life, just peripherally, because you go to friends' houses and y'all play and you meet their parents and you know if the mama mean or the daddy cool or vice versa. And I'm like, yo, all these niggas had that same cloudy judgment, like they can't think. Like we're moving, like we were the generation that moved from analog to digital. Like I was a teenager when shit, I wasn't even no teenager. I was like 12, something like that. 11 or 12 when AOL came out. I was a teenager when niggas went from brick phones to flip phones, from analog phones to digital phones to goddamn it DSL. Now it's Wi-Fi. Like I lived through that. You know what I'm saying? We were the generation that had to show our parents how to use the new remote control. They didn't even know how to work their TV, which makes me think, how the fuck you don't know how to work your TV? Why the fuck would you buy a TV and you don't know how to work the TV? Anyway, so being that, bro, and being so more advanced, and every generation is supposed to be advanced from the generation before. And then you think that one generation in the middle, that boomer generation, was never advanced from the generation before. They take credit for being the civil rights generation, but they weren't. That's the civil rights generation kids. They take credit for um inventing culture, which they did invent a drug culture, androgynous culture, but nobody gave a fuck about that shit. First chance they kids stopped wearing panties on the outside of their pants like Cameo and started wearing troop suits and Adidas and Diodoras, track suits and fucking Louis Vuitton and MCM and like which is still going on right now. With those boys that I can't even say we. I lived through it, but I was young. What the older Gen X created in the 1980s is still hot in 2023, which is brings me to another issue. Y'all shouldn't be doing the shit we did in 1986, nigga. Rap still shouldn't be a thing. Rap still shouldn't be a thing. First generation, 50 years of rap. All y'all did was augmented rap, trap rap, whatever. Never pushed the music forward. So niggas still rapping. Niggas still wearing the same Jordans I begged my mama for in 1988. Never changed fashion. Never pushed the button on that. It's to make it gay, but y'all didn't excel it. You know what I'm saying? Technology wise, did that, did that. But culture wise, there has been no evolution in 50 years. 50 fucking years. Hey, yo, baggy jeans and long t-shirts. That was a moment of time. That was a moment of time. So now you're looking at a cultural Stockholm syndrome. Cultural Stockholm syndrome. You got boys. Trap rap ain't nothing but the evolution of gangster rap in the 1990s with less flow and less talent. Better producers though. Better music, worse lyricists. That shit ain't timeless, man. Ain't nothing timeless, bro. Things evolve and rotate. There's only four cycles, but they missing a cycle. They missed the whole cycle. We stuck in one cycle. Anyway, let's continue this. Wait, let me say this real quick. The whole thing about being attached to your captor, right, is an occurrence that happens when you spend quality time, cuddle time with your captor, right? I ain't muted. Y'all can't hear? Y'all didn't hear it? That ain't me, bro. That was StreamYard then. That was StreamYard. That wasn't me. Hold on. Let me take it down and put it back up. That y'all know I don't come fuck with StreamYard. But I just did this shit because it was early in the morning and I ain't got to be at work for another hour and a half. Well, shit, 2 hours. So I was actually gonna drop the link and let y'all hang out with. Uh, which I probably, if I'm gonna do it, I should do it now. I'll drop the link. I ain't doing shit. I got 30 minutes to kill. Anyway, y'all didn't hear it though. That's crazy, man. That's Stockholm. I mean, that's StreamYard though.
Syndrome. Once released, victims
Can y'all hear it now? Hopefully y'all can hear it now. This is loud as hell in my ear. I don't know how y'all ain't hear.
The dark results of Stockholm Syndrome. Once released, victims of abduction or those situations listed above may develop the following symptoms: compassion for one's captor, refusal to admit their wrongdoing, flashbacks of the event, increased aggression, depression, guilt, and post-traumatic stress disorder. They may also develop a dependency on their aggressor, where they feel they cannot survive without them. The good news is most people in hostage situations do not develop Stockholm Syndrome. The rarity of captor compassion.
All right. So back to what I was saying. So the whole thing with that is you got to spend quality time with your captor, right? You got to spend that honey love time. So like they said, face to face contact, you got to be able to see them every day and understand why they're oppressing you in order for you to accept being oppressed. There's a old um there's an old thing about um Harriet Tubman saying she freed 1,000 slaves and would have freed 1,000 more if they only knew they were slaves. There's 1,000 more that she couldn't save because they didn't want to leave those slave minded people behind. Think about it like this. Think about Harriet Tubman coming to free the slaves, but mom's in the house. Mom's a house nigga, and she's enjoying herself. She eating good fried chicken. She's sleeping in a comfortable bed, but you're a field hand and you know oppression and you have dreams and aspirations and you know that life, this ain't supposed to be life. So they come to get you, Harriet, like, let's go. And you ready to go, but you can't leave mama behind and mama don't want to go. Mama like,
It's good here, baby. Why you want to leave? Master treat us good.
so now you volunteered for slavery to stay with mama. That happens way more than you would believe. It's way deeper than just you don't know you a slave. It's the fact you know you a slave, but you love a slave and you can't save them. So you sacrifice yourself. You put yourself on the sword, and then you end up hostile, bitter, because you sacrificed yourself for a person who don't even understand your sacrifice because they're slave minded. That is what culture has become. That's why they so open to let immigrants in and fucking open to let women talk with clothes on, and how they have a whole war against black men to the point that even if it's not a criminal war, it's an emotional and economic war. It's like you gotta come back to the plantation. You can't date white girls. You can't know how to read. You can't get a passport. If you want to achieve power and you don't think that a woman is the finish line, you think your finish line is your purpose, then you acting white. We gotta rebrand, bro. We gotta rebrand. Start scratch. Start this shit over, bro. I want to say shout out to Ken for the $5 cash app last night because I couldn't find my phone. So shout out to Ken. Shout out to the bad guy for $5 for Taco Tuesday. Shout out to that. Shout out to Neek, man. He say for Hannibal. I don't even remember the Hannibal part, but I gratitude, bro. I probably should this, so I don't be remember what the fuck I be saying. And shout out to Vodka, man, for the $10 cash app. He say for the morning sermon, man. Look, we gonna. I think this is important. I think it's important. I'm gonna start and finish. I'm gonna finish with the video I started with. For those who missed it, I'm gonna bring it back. Um, I want to get into the rarity captive compassion, and I'm gonna shut this one down. I'm gonna show you the original video, and then shit, man. We gonna have a great day, bro. Um,
The FBI's hostage barricade system says that 92% of people in these circumstances do not present any symptoms that would indicate Stockholm Syndrome. However, it is still very real and should be taken seriously. How serious can it get? Each person's reaction to a hostage situation.
Actually, I think we passed. We passed that point. We passed that point. Anything else they talking about is hot situation. We passed the Stockholm syndrome. Uh, Stockholm syndrome. Symptoms. So I'm gonna play this one more time, man, for those who missed it, because this was what's inspired the whole video. Um, and shout out to Chronicles of Judah, man. I don't know how he got back on my playlist like this, because all this videos are old as dirt. Um, but like I said, this it started off. This was about LeBron, but he said one bar, and I was like, "Yo, this is a good morning, a good morning motivational message." Let's kick.
So-called black people are dealing with a series of psychological barriers. One of those barriers being that our people like to talk about things that they don't really know how to handle once they're brought to fruition. Meaning what? So-called black people love to talk about owning businesses and supporting black and yada, yada, yada. But when they see a so-called black man aspiring to own or owning, so-called black people will oftentimes denigrate that person and purposefully not support that person because they do not want that person not only to rise up above his current condition, but they don't want to feel like they have not lived up to their own expectations about their life.
Nobody wants you to make them feel like a dummy. I get that. I'm with that. Here's the thing. I'm gonna use transgenders, right? Especially the black ones, because black girls are annoying, so black trannies are annoying. Have you noticed? It's all trannies, really. I'm just picking on Keisha right now, but it's all trannies. All trannies. Have you noticed that transgender men are better women than women when done properly? When done properly, transgender men are better women. They act more like women than women. This is why I talk about the black ones. They're smaller than real black women. Their voices are higher pitched than actual black women. They do more domestic shit than most black women. They walk better in heels than a lot of black women. Not most, but a lot. They beat women in women's sports. Right now they talking about they got a badussy and you don't need a period to be a woman. They doing woman of the year shit. All this shit is MK Ultra shit. But all that shit also is because men are better at everything, even at imitating women, right? Men are way better women than women are. That's why women should never listen to women if they want to know how to be a woman. Look at all your favorite stories with strong female characters, aliens, uh, the original Black Panther before, not the movie, Marvel Comics, uh, Black Widow, Wonder Woman. All those are female characters written by men. Men know women's nature better than women. Women need to talk to a man to learn how to be a woman. Women listening to women is why women want to be men. Because women's envy of men is so incredible because they don't know how to be women. If they knew how to be women, they would love men. But the fact they don't know how to be women, they want to emulate men because men are awesome and they want to be awesome. But they can't be awesome because they out of position because they don't want to be toddlers, right? Their job is to be a motherfucking toddler. Their job is not to talk when grown folks is talking. Their job is not to be an adult. They don't even like that shit. They have lower quality of life standards all the way across the board, starting at Generation X, but really with the millennials. Nigga, going to work every day and trying to think. Bitches can't think. They trying to think and shit. They motherfuckers got questions. They got to make decisions. They don't know shit. They don't know shit. Now they stressed out because they moving out of position. They supposed to be a motherfucking toddler, somewhere naked with glitter lotion, flipping pancakes, teaching kids shit, being the older sibling. They out of position. They don't know what the fuck they doing. But men know what women do because men design women. I'm ignoring Natalia. I know she got clothes on. She ain't talking about shit. Look, so the whole thing is the whole rebrand is real. You're being compared to a group that wants to regress to slavery. They want to be slaves. Everything they do is to push slavery, right? Universal basic income, letting in immigrants to take their spot, um, literally um down in their own men when they have positions of authority because they don't have no positions of power. They just get put in positions of authority as gatekeepers, and they never get called gatekeepers. Every nigga in a record label get called a gatekeeper. Puffy got called a gatekeeper. Uh, I think Ice T just said Ice Cube a gatekeeper. Or somebody just said Ice Cube a gatekeeper. Like everybody gatekeeper. I heard Chuck D was a gatekeeper. Men get to be gatekeepers all the time because you don't have Stockholm syndrome for men. Women just run this motherfucker to the ground, nigga. And y'all just started talking about these bitches in 2021. Y'all just noticed the fanny packs and the goddamn Lori Lightfoot mold on Stone. Y'all just started noticing how dumb these bitches are. 2 years. Y'all been canceling men trying to warn y'all of this shit for 20 years. Patrice O'Neal will be huge today. Y'all didn't love that nigga in real time. You love your oppressors. Y'all love your oppressors. You sleep with the enemy. You love your oppressors. I come on this motherfucker all the time, bro. I gotta argue with this goofy bitch later on today. We brought Two Married, Two Single back. It starts tonight. Two Married, Two Single start back tonight. We got the Alchemist, we got Quasi, we got Gorilla Pete, I'll be through there, and whatever that goofy light skinned dyke bitch who got more hats than me. How a bitch got more hats than me? You know how many hats I got? Y'all ever see me with a hat that didn't match, nigga? You know how many hats I got for this dyke bitch to have more hats than me? Running around telling motherfuckers that men can't love and women are prize with men's money. Now I gotta argue with these motherfuckers. Anyway, so I gotta woo off of that. But and before I go to work, because I do gotta get up there. Because before I go to work, we gotta set up the dirty folk. We gotta do a dirty folks website. Man, this fucking AdSense shit some bullshit, man. I gotta set up a website in order for them to pay me out. I don't get y'all super chats. They just hold them like nigga, follow my directions. I feel like a slave. Then we doing a store, we doing the Spotify store, so we can set up the all the wares actually on the site so y'all can see it right there. Um, so we getting it popping, man. I gotta do a lot of shit this morning before I go to work. I gotta work before I go to work because you gotta pursue the dream. All the man really has is a dream. You gotta pursue the dream though. You gotta turn the dream into a plan and then put an action behind that plan. And then the action to that plan, when it comes to fruition, and people like, oh, that nigga, he must be Illuminati. Because anytime a nigga make it, it can't because he got it out the mud. It can't because he bust his ass and worked it out and network. It gotta be because that nigga joined the Illuminati. Because that's part of the Stockholm syndrome of black people can't be great. You don't never say white people joined the Illuminati. I ain't never heard nobody say that Warren Buffett joined Skulls and Bones. But if a nigga make it, Jay-Z had to join the Illuminati. Goddamn it. Come on, man. Goddamn it. Ice Cube had to sell out to the Jews, which he kind of did, but you know what I'm saying? Goddamn it, man. Such and such gotta suck dick. It's always some bullshit when man come up. But that's because y'all black. Rebrand and it just be par for the course. Anyway, as always, man, love your brothers as you love yourself. Feed the pack. Tribe up.
Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Stay away from cities with dyke mayors. They spray the pipes major. Don't play with your life, player. Or shake the dice, player. But if you got a quota, then stay away from toddlers. These bitches are fight promoters. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare. Train your toddler. Please train your toddler. Whippings, timeouts, take her allowance. Cause I swear she will destroy your life if you allow it. Fuck it, I'm tired of rapping. Yo, low, bring in the choir. Welcome to the daycare. Welcome to the daycare.